was going into OT, and that drive just sort of collapsed. Joe Mixon wasn't on the field
for some reason.
I still don't understand that. Did they ever?
Sorry.
Right.
Melanie Rodriguez to the main office.
You don't have
your RB1,
right, a top 7 or so running back.
I don't really get that because I was thinking, okay, he must be injured, but I heard he was available, so I don't really understand.
Yeah, I don't understand
what that was about.
And at that point, you still had 2 timeouts left, and they ran the ball anyway. So it's not like they were trying. They didn't want to use a timeout. And they wanted to pass the ball. They still ran the ball. I guess they went with their power back, but Mixon is sort of a power back too. And perhaps he could have broken loose for some extra yardage or went out for a short pass or something like that. I really didn't understand the play call. And I also didn't. There was some mishaps from the Rams coaching.
On that fourth down, there was a couple. If there's, Jamar Chase got open, but that was by the time Donald had already gotten to Burrow. But I did see at the top. Right on a highlight.
If Burrow even had
it was the tight end. I don't know if it was Uzama, but
or his backup.
He got a little there was a little
defensive
mishap. I saw they kind of crossed, and the one defender went to the wrong guy and left him open. And I guess Burrow didn't see. I'm pretty sure that was before Donald got to him as well. So that could have been the first down, or who is it that he tossed it to?
It might have been Boyd or Higgins.
No, it wasn't. I think it was the running back.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
He came out, and he didn't even dive for the ball.
Which is just incredible to me.
We'll never know because I don't think the camera angle really showed. But it looked like he was fairly close to the ball. It didn't look like
for a ball that's
50 yards away.
Yeah. On the last play, on a potentially Super Bowl ending.
This is your season hanging in bounds.
And you don't even dive.
This is perhaps the last play of your season.
To me.
Yeah, I frankly, I don't understand that. And I didn't understand the play call towards the end. I mean, all game you had played Cooper Kupp fairly well, except for that last drive.
Yeah.
Where all of a sudden, they're in the red zone.
And he got it 6 times or whatever.
Right. And you're putting Eli Apple on him. You know who Matt Stafford's going for.
Yeah.
He's afraid of his own decision making. He's a great quarterback, don't get me wrong. But he's got a little bit of a problem with the interception. He threw 2 in that game. You know who he's targeting. That all things considered, perhaps that last drive sealed the deal that Cooper Kupp maybe had the best wide receiving season of all time.
Definitely.
You know who the ball is going to.
And I also would say that he might actually be the best wide receiver in football now after this year. No one gets open like him.
Right.
Obviously, there's still Devontae Adams, who's just incredible. But he doesn't put up those numbers. I mean, you just can't. You can't argue with it.
And honestly, I don't see anybody that's so strong that's a wide receiver.
Yeah.
After the catch, I mean, he trucks. He doesn't go down.
Yeah.
It was incredible, and naturally, you're going to feed that guy the ball. And they put Eli Apple on him, which by all means, he's not a bad player. But
it's talking about the best wide receiver.
Right, in the game this year. And he's having the best season ever. Yeah. You got to do something about that. And they didn't. They just didn't. And obviously, there were some bad flags there towards the end, although there should have been a flag earlier on Higgins and Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
And you know what? Frankly, I don't understand. A lot of people are saying that means, Jalen Ramsey didn't have as bad as a game as people thought. No. But he didn't have a good game.
No, he did not.
He didn't. He was getting cooked all day. That last play could have totally shifted the narrative on Jalen Ramsey. He's on the floor, and Jamar Chase catches a game-winning touchdown. He got completely burnt and tripped.
Yeah, Burrow had 1 extra second.
Right, by a rookie.
The great touchdown by my dude, Odell Beckham Jr.
Oh, of course.
So happy for him.
That was a good touchdown. It's said he tore his ACL
in the
Super Bowl, but
I'm sure that's the least of his worries right now.
Right. Yeah, that doesn't matter. He'll be back out there, and he's an athletic dude, so he'll make up for it. But I mean,
and just think about what could have been.
Yeah, who Burrow's looking for on that last play too. He's looking for his best wide receiver.
If there's no one, a little short pass.
Yep, he's chucking it down to Jamar. Jamar's down there somewhere, and Jamar was down there wide open.
Yeah,
Jalen Ramsey was on the floor, and you know what?
You can't stop Aaron Donald.
Right. Yeah. Obviously, our bias is showing a little bit, but
defensive lineman of
all time. Putting himself in the conversation for best defensive player of all time within a couple of years.
Close.
If he puts up,
here's the incredible one-handed catch.
Oh, that was just phenomenal.
That somehow didn't result on a touchdown.
Yeah, I don't understand that. That was a good play by the Rams secondary just to even catch up to him there. But my gosh, what a catch!
But Aaron Donald always double teamed, still gets the quarterback. fouled,
Oh my
still gets the
gosh.
quarterback.
Oh my
He just
gosh,
couldn't-
it's
he
just
can't stop him.
Yeah, he's
Like,
unstoppable.
obviously the
He's-
Bengals have
He's
a terrible.
choking people out mid game.
Bengals have a terrible O line, but like, it
Would
doesn't
anybody
matter.
have been
No.
able to stop him and Von Miller? on the
Maybe
same time?
maybe a little bit extra time because I mean
Right.
Burrow just needed a little
Right.
more time.
Because he's used to the pressure now.
Yeah,
He's
he
used
just
to it.
needed a little bit more
If
time.
you had
That was
somebody that was
that was very close.
half competent on Aaron Donald, he throws a game-winning touchdown
Probably,
to Jamar
yeah.
Chase.
Yep.
And that was the glaring hole in the team. And a lot of people are saying, what was the right pick? Was it Penei Sewell or was it Jamar Chase? Because does Penei Sewell
I
give
think
it time?
I think absolutely.
I think it was Jamar Chase.
He's-
I don't think that conversation should
Yeah.
be reopened because Jamar Chase has thrust himself in the conversation as one of the top 5 wide receivers in the game
Yeah.
right now. And even after one season, he's already top 10. I don't think that's
Top
even
7.
particularly a question. Yeah,
Top
he's
7,
top
I
7 without question. And he made huge plays during that game. But with that being said, if you had one more offensive line piece, you probably win.
Yeah,
And
I think
it,
that's what they're going to be doing this draft.
right. But it does make you think. It does raise the question. Obviously the Bengals thrusted themselves in contention for years to come this year. Joe Burrow had a breakout season. Jamar Chase was a great pick. The defense is solid. The wide receiver core is probably the best trio in the game.
Perhaps.
But still, are the Bengals really the team to beat in the AFC?
No,
No,
I,
they're not.
I think,
There's still a lot
I
of teams
think
that are better
next
than them.
year is going to be the Bills because
I'm with the Bills.
I don't know if this is going to be exactly who they're going for, but I think they should go for Chris Godwin on the free agency
I
list
think
for the
that's
wide
move,
receivers
too.
because I mean
Take a little pressure
obviously-
off of Stephon
obviously,
Diggs.
Yeah, receiving has not been a problem for the Bills.
No.
Obviously, you have a top 2 quarterback.
Right.
Honestly, I'm a big Josh Allen
Yeah,
fan.
I'm a big Josh
top
Allen
2,
too.
and you have Diggs, who's I think is also top 5, and then you
Um,
have some solid other receivers. Gabriel Davis had a
Right.
great end of the year.
Right.
Beasley's still doing it, but if you have that second piece, elite piece, you're just gonna be unstoppable. Or
Godwin's top 15,
or
man.
a running back
Or a running back.
because Devin
Devin Singletary, he's
pretty
solid.
solid. But
Yeah.
can you imagine the Bills with someone
Right.
like who's
And
considered a top,
that's also
top 10?
That's also not
That's
to
like
ignore.
the one thing they're missing.
Right. That's also not to ignore the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Who knocked off the Bills this
Obviously,
year.
the Chiefs are
But
still.
when you have two teams that are like, honestly, in any given game, I'd take them like 70% of the time over the Bengals. They've still got a lot to overcome.
yeah.
They're going to need another miracle season like this. They got, honestly, the Titans were the first seed, but they had pretty much a cakewalk until the Chiefs.
Yeah, I didn't think the Titans were that good.
And the Chiefs had an off game. Really, that Super Bowl should have been probably Kansas City Rams,
Mhm.
all things considered. Or if Buffalo won the coin toss
I
at the
think-
end
I
of
think
that game,
I
think
think Buffalo.
I think Buffalo would have smoked them.
I think Josh Allen played better in that game, even though it was very close.
I
feel
think
like
he did
Josh
too.
Allen would have earned it more.
Right.
Should've-
And here's the question, right? Give Josh Allen another wide receiver
Yeah.
piece. Can he finally take down the Chiefs? I mean, it's bound to happen.
If he gets, honestly, I'm gonna say right here, if he gets one of those wide receiver free agents, I think I'm gonna pick him for MVP, like right now,
Oh, absolutely.
right now.
Absolutely. And I mean, we're having this conversation about the Bills after the Bengals lost the Super Bowl. So it just goes to show you the Bengals aren't, guaranteed to make it again, even if they get some more O-line pieces. And who knows, even if they do make the Super Bowl, who are they going to play? The
Honestly,
Rams still have a
Los Angeles
stack.
It might just be them again.
Right. It might honestly just be them again. And I mean, you see it in the NBA too. Right? When teams are good,
They stay.
they're good for a long time. Right now, I mean, it's probably easy to pick the finals matchup right now for the
Phoenix
NBA.
Suns.
It's Phoenix Suns and Milwaukee Bucks. And that's
I'm not sure about
probably the
Bucks.
favorite right now.
I'm not sure
Or
about
you
Bucks.
you can have the Nets in the mix there, obviously.
I'm not sure about
The
the Nets
Sixers,
either.
perhaps.
I have to see how the Nets and Sixers are playing.
Right.
I think you can't sleep on Miami right now.
All right. And obviously we have a big
And
trade to
Chicago.
cover there in a couple minutes. But with that being said, I mean, the Rams are a really good team. The Bengals are a very good team. Nothing on paper wows me about the Bengals, with exception of their wide receiver core. They have sort of a Cardinal situation going on there, where there's some really good pieces and the rest of the team is solid, but they could be better. I don't think it's
Yeah.
Super Bowl caliber
They
yet.
just don't look like the super good
No,
team that
they don't.
Everyone's scared.
They look like they're the Atlanta Braves of football.
yeah,
I mean,
they're a little better
they
than
can,
that, but
they can sneak in and have a miracle season like they did this year, but they're definitely going to have a lot to overcome
Yeah.
before they get to that
They
point.
need- they
And
need
look, they
some-
hit their roadblock. They met their match. They hit the best roster in the NFL. And I mean, look,
got
it
very
happens.
close.
right? But as long as you have Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase there and the wide receiver trio stays somewhat together, Joe Mixon is in the backfield, you're still going to be good for years to come. You might just need a little bit more than some O-line pieces to guarantee yourself back in the Super Bowl, because the AFC, solely on account of the Chiefs and the Bills, is super, super strong. It's really strong. And with that being said, I think going into next year, I think the Bengals are going to be competitive. I don't think you see them in the Super Bowl next year. I think the Rams are certainly going to be competitive. And perhaps you see them in the Super Bowl again next year.
I think you can't. I think probably, honestly, I think Cincinnati will probably win the North, but you can't sleep on Baltimore.
No, you can't.
Baltimore,
you can't.
Everyone's
Everyone's
forgetting
Lamar
about
Jackson.
how Lamar Jackson, Baltimore almost snuck into the playoffs without Lamar for like half of the year.
Dude, who was starting for them?
It was what's his name? It's something. Was it Tyler? Something. Huntley. Yeah.
Huntley.
It was Huntley. It was Huntley. Almost. If they somehow beat Pittsburgh, they would have been the team.
Right.
Because remember, the Chargers and the Raiders, they just was it the Steelers that needed them just not to tie? Or was,
yes. Yeah.
Or would the Ravens have been able to?
I think the Ravens would have just straight.
The Ravens needed someone else. One of the
It was a complicated situation.
But they could have made it without Lamar Jackson for half of the year, which is
impressive. Now you get Lamar Jackson back, hopefully for a full season. I mean, obviously he's a volatile guy.
Still needs a little some improvement. He showed some bright.
Yep. I mean, he's an MVP, right? So
yeah, he is a former MVP.
Yeah, so that's not to be slept on either.
That one game against who was it against that he got like 4 touchdowns?
Oh,
it was Indianapolis.
Yeah,
those are the games
lit them up, and that was one of the teams where like nobody wants to see Indianapolis in the playoffs, and then all of a sudden
we can't forget about them too.
Right? Yeah. No, you can't. Jonathan Taylor is a dog.
Competitive.
Yeah, I honestly I think the Bengals have a much tougher road than the Rams do back to the Super Bowl. I think the Rams are still obviously.
And
I think they're
too.
Yeah.
Chargers really.
Oh my gosh, I still think Justin Herbert is better than Joe Burrow, and that might be a hot take now. But I mean, the arm talent isn't even comparable.
I think
it really isn't. If you put Justin Herbert on the Bengals this year,
they would have won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they probably would have won the Super Bowl. To be honest with you,
not to say that it was Burrow's fault that they didn't win.
No, but Justin Herbert is just that little bit better than Burrow, and the arm talent is great. He's such a dog. He's such a dog. But yeah, I think the Rams though in the NFC.
I think
it's certainly possible they lose next year.
I think the Chargers might go for a wide receiver too, even though.
Yep.
Super Bowl predictions
2023.
I'm
gonna go, man. I'm gonna go Buffalo. I'm gonna go Buffalo, Los Angeles. I can't. It's very hard to pick against LA now, and I think looking at it now with Tom Brady gone. There's not that one team that's just phenomenal in the playoffs that like can knock them off, and I'd be like confident, like, oh, any year Brady can win it. There's no more Brady, So I think next year is either the Bills don't even play the Chiefs next year, or they beat the Chiefs in the AFC. I think there's the two options there. They played really well against them. I think they're finally going to learn their lesson. I mean, you don't lose 2 heartbreakers in a row. And they did. They're obviously going to bounce back from that. I think they beat the Chiefs next year, and I think they take the AFC. And I think the Rams still have the strongest roster maybe we've ever seen in football. I mean, you have 2 of the best defensive players of all time, Aaron Donald and Von Miller, the best cornerback in the game, despite him getting absolutely cooked by Jamar Chase this week, Jalen Ramsey. Matt Stafford is very good. There's a committee in the backfield, but they're pretty solid. And Cooper Kupp is like one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, if not the best. I don't think anybody in the NFC snaps them. I think if they were in the AFC, they'd probably have a little bit of a harder road. I think obviously the Chiefs and Bills would have a chance at beating them. It's also contingent on where does Aaron Rodgers go and does Devontae Adams follow.
Yeah, I think I heard some rumors about since Tom Brady is obviously. I'm gonna say I probably have the same Super Bowl, but to talk about the Rams, I think I heard stuff about the Bucks trying to go for like Wilson or Rodgers, maybe, which could be big.
They'd still be really good.
That could be big, yeah.
And if they re-sign Godwin,
even if they don't,
I think that'd be great. Yeah, and I think a good quarterback probably attracts Godwin too.
Or New Orleans, maybe.
They could be nice.
They could be nice. I'm not sure. But
Sean Payton's a big loss.
Yeah, that is a big loss. They're going to have to figure out coaching situation there. Yeah. But if they get Michael Thomas back with a good quarterback. That could be really, really good. I mean, like
Oh my gosh.
Drew Brees and Michael Thomas was incredible.
Don't sleep on Michael Thomas.
Yeah.
He's a little bit of a diva. He's sort of out all the time, but oh my
He's
gosh,
been injured for the past 2
that
years. So
dude is cold.
he's really
He's
good.
so
Yep.
good. He had one of the best wide receiver seasons
Yep.
ever a couple
I
years
think,
ago.
I think before
Before
this year, he was like the last wide receiver to get MVP votes.
Right, that's right. And honestly, in comparison to Cooper Kupp, that was like the greatest wide receiver season of all time. Do not sleep on Michael Thomas.
Yeah.
That dude is really, really good.
And Packers, if the Packers get Aaron Rodgers back,
They're obviously
sure
still
they're-
competitive. Yep.
but I'm not sure if that's gonna happen.
I honestly I think Aaron Rodgers is sick of there.
Me
But yeah,
too.
I'll go Buffalo Rams next year.
Same.
Quick note on the halftime show. I thought it was good.
It was great.
I thought it was too short though. That was
I
my
mean,
only qualm.
It was technically the same length as most of them.
Right,
it
but you had
felt
like 6
short.
artists taking up the
It
time.
felt
So
too
yeah,
short. Yeah.
nobody really. Kendrick Lamar did like one song, and you know,
you did
fit-
like a mix of two.
yeah, and then 50 barely did in the club, and
Yeah.
you know what? It was good. It was a good
though.
halftime
I
show
did
though.
like it.
It was certainly entertaining. And before we go, because I wanted to mention it earlier, given that's what we were talking about, James Harden
Yeah.
and the Nets.
NBA. I think we talked about that a little bit. On
A
the
little
last-
bit. I wanted to touch on it a little bit more. I think the Nets won the trade. But
Yeah,
I think it's a good trade for
did you
both
see
teams.
the game last night?
Yes. Yeah.
Curry and Drummond were looking great. I mean, it seemed
yeah.
like they fit right in.
Yep.
And you know, Irving wasn't there. It was
Nope.
it was a home game, so
We were feeding
okay.
Bruce
They
Brown.
looked nice.
I think.
They looked nice.
Yeah. I think Harden and
I
Embiid
feel
can
like
be
that
really
chemistry-
cold.
I feel like the chemistry on the Nets is a lot stronger now, actually,
Yep,
because of
Yep.
those.
And now
those
you have a
big-
good defender. You have a big man, and you have a shooter. So you have exactly what you needed. You're certainly deeper than you once were. You don't have 3 guys now that need the ball all the time. But I think the trade works out for the Sixers too. I
And
think
then
Harden.
I
If
heard Ben
Harden's
Simmons
happy,
is gonna play after the All-Star break.
that works. And if Harden is happy, he can be really good. And Joel Embiid, that's like a LeBron Anthony Davis
I'm praying on the
situation.
Sixers' downfall, though.
I mean, I'm not a fan of Philadelphia sports. They're obviously in the East too. So
See, I like the trade, but I still am a little upset at Harden for just kind of
right,
like
abandoning the big 3 like that could have been
didn't even get
historic.
a chance.
But I think
I think KD
ironic-
is really mad too.
ironically, they're a better team now. But yeah. So
yeah,
we-
that's gonna wrap it up. We're
Yep.
running out of time. We gotta go.
Yep.
Yeah, there it is.
Baseball coming up soon, hopefully.
Oh.
We- We are not going
Oh,
anywhere.
not
So
going.
let's do more basketball.
Oh,
bro.
okay. So let me tell you why I don't think Milwaukee. Oh shit! Wait, what? Let me tell you why I don't think Milwaukee is gonna make the finals this year.
Go for it, because this is hot. This is hot. You're gonna make a lot of people.
Wait, show me
mad.
the record. I don't know what the record is. Zoom in. Zoom in. Zoom in. They
You're
just
telling-
lost to the Trailblazers. Wow.
Without Dame, CJ McCollum is gone, right?
35 and
CJ
23.
McCollum.
So I think they're under Miami and Chicago right now.
Yes, that's
That,
right.
that doesn't really. I feel like seeding is not as
Important
important in
the
NBA. It's
Yeah.
all 7 game. Okay. So I don't know. I don't really. They're great, obviously, but I feel like they kind of just had they got a lot of good luck in that finals run last year.
They
I mean, just to put aside that Brooklyn series, they go to the finals against the Suns.
and
Chris-
Phoenix
Chris Paul just-
folded.
Chris Paul just is
Yeah.
atrocious. I
Yeah.
mean, this guy's been waiting to get to the finals his whole career. He's a big time veteran, and he just is terrible.
Just
I mean,
crumbled, yeah.
and Booker wasn't great either. Booker was good in the first 2 games they won, and was just terrible.
And Chris Paul looks like he's out for vengeance this year.
Yeah, I know. He's
So
on fire.
let's say
And
hypothetically
Booker,
they do run that matchup back. I think Phoenix takes
Yeah,
it.
and DeAndre Ayton was like the
Oh,
only
he's-
one that looked really, really good in all those
Yeah,
games,
yeah.
and he's still looking amazing.
They know how
I
how
feel
to
like
use
that
him really
that
well.
Suns chemistry is just unmatched.
I think it's the most complete team in basketball.
Yeah, I mean, like obviously Giannis is like incredible, but like I feel like I don't know. I feel like the Suns can find a way to make to stop him. I don't know, or maybe not stop him, but limit him or just the rest of his team so that he can't just carry them.
I'm with that.
But I think it's possible that like Miami or Chicago comes in and beats them.
Yeah, I
those
think-
teams are.
I think that's
those teams are
possible too.
incredible.
Miami
Those
is
teams
very
are great.
complete. Yeah, and,
And you could also see how Brooklyn does. I mean, I think once Kyrie comes back and KD comes back,
that team's really hard.
and
to
I
beat.
heard that the NYC vaccine mandate is getting lifted.
Kyrie's
We're gonna
be
have
back
Kyrie for all the time. We can see how good this Brooklyn team can actually be. So we're gonna have to see what happens there.
Coldest.
I hope I hope Milwaukee doesn't make it again.
Yep.
I'm not that I don't like them, but just I don't know. I'm still mad about that last
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
I feel like they didn't deserve
Yeah.
that.
And obviously, with the football season done, we'll certainly be covering more basketball as we approach the All-Star break here, and the trade deadline has concluded. Hopefully, the MLB is back sometime soon. It's been an awesome year for football. We had a lot of fun covering it.
Yep.
And we'll catch everybody later.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a great one.